Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Alright, has anybody ever packed anything up or wanted to before?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, some of the supplies that you need, some of the tools that would be most helpful, although not necessary in order to do it. The reason I feel comfortable in teaching you guys all of this is because I've worked at the UPS store for over 3 years now and packed up a lot of boxes. So I'm going to show you my experience and some tricks of the trade also. First things you're going to need, obviously, you're going to need a box to pack up your item. You're going to need an item in general to pack up. What also helps is to have some bubble wrap. I got a little sample right here. Obviously you're going to need some tape and something to cut them with. This would be a lot easier if you had a tape gun, because scissors would basically take the place of that. If you have a tape gun that's got tabs on it to keep the tape in place, a little cutter to cut the tape and smooth application while you're running it across the box. Each box comes with a little certificate on it, which has gross weight limits and edge crush tests to make sure that you have enough duty box for what you're shipping. If it's too heavy, you need a heavier duty box naturally. If you guys want to look at that, pass that around, enjoy. The tape, this is not the traditional tape that we use for shipping. Usually what we try to use is tape that's 3 inches wide, and it's what's called 2 mils thick, which a mil is 2/1000 of an inch. So you want to have the right thickness so it doesn't break if it happens to drop or anything like that. Bubble wrap can come in several different forms. This right here is what's called small cell bubble wrap, which naturally, as it seems, there's small bubbles on it, and then naturally they have big cell bubble wrap, which the bubbles on those can go as high as about 1/2 inch or so. That's used for mainly heavier duty, heavier stuff, and so there's definitely uses for small and big. Packing peanuts. There's good peanuts and then there's bad peanuts. Bad peanuts are what's called starch peanuts, which basically, as they sound, are made out of starches. The reason why they're so bad is because when you squish them, or naturally if they're inside of a package and they get smushed, they stay that way. And they get smushed and they don't bounce back and protect your item. So that's why we try to use what's called S-style or styrofoam peanuts. They are a lot stiffer and they retain their shape a lot better. Makes for better protection for your item. Some other equipment, some other tools. A box cutter can be a packer's right-hand man. You can size down boxes and cut bubble wrap to size, cut some tape if you needed to. Like I said, not necessary, but a very versatile tool if you have one. Tape measure is always helpful for many different purposes. You want to make sure that you have the right size box. You want to make sure that you have the right depth of peanuts inside the box. I'll go through that a little bit later. Also, with regards to the box, the industry standard is that you want to have at least 2 inches of space on all sides of your item. So if I go back to my little handle holder here, you just want to measure across the diameter, put 2 inches on this side, 2 inches on this side. Make sure you have a box that's wide enough, 2 inches on top, 2 inches on bottom. Make sure you have enough room for packaging and safe shipment. Another awesome tool of the trade is a box sizer, which basically is just a long piece of metal. It's got a handle on one end and a cutting wheel on the other, and you essentially just put it inside the box at whatever height you want, and it scores the inside of the box. And if you cut the corners out, you can fold the tabs in and make the box smaller if you really needed to. So I'm going to try to show you how to actually do the entire process and tape up and pack up something fragile. So we have our box, which is already assembled, but I want to make sure, depending on how heavy your item is, I want to put at least 1, if not 2 or 3, if it really calls for it, strips across the bottom seam of the take your tape and you want to lay it across the corners of the box and fold them down along the sides. And to make sure that the corners stay intact, you want to fold these other outer flaps in, make little dog ears in the corners, and fold the tape over, and it'll stay nice and tight like that. So once you got the bottom of your box established, you're going to pay your attention to your actual item. If you just lay it on your item, if it's circular like this, you can just lay it down. And you essentially just want to make sure that you have enough bubble wrap to go right around. So you want to bubble wrap your entire item, tape the seams together, make it nice and tight. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that if your bubble wrap folds over itself, that you have enough bubble wrap to keep the sides protected. If you don't, naturally you want to take some extra bubble wrap, cut it to size, place it over, and then after you get all the sides covered and everything, just make it nice and tight and everything. Little precaution on some items, like this for example. If this were to be a glass candle holder, it's really spiky on top and it's got a big hole in the middle. If you just shove some bubble wrap right inside to keep it intact, that'll keep the inside safe. And then what you can do is put some cardboard over the pointy edges so that way it doesn't poke through the bubble wrap, or you can just bubble wrap it until there's so much on there that it won't poke through. So once you have everything stuffed, you have it all wrapped and everything, you want to take back out your box and you want to put about 2 inches of peanuts in there. You can always put more in there if it's something heavier, or if you go to place the item in there and you feel it's sinking into the peanuts, always add more. Better to have more than less. And what will actually happen is when you put the item in there, it will sink a little bit. But when you add some more peanuts in there to make it not sink so much, they'll actually settle down once you get everything inside the box. So even if your product sticks up past the top of the box, it's okay, because it'll actually all settle down before you're all done. So once you got your 2 inches of peanuts in there, you make sure that it's not sinking in. You just make it nice and center inside the box, and you want to make sure you have even space on all sides. Add some peanuts in there for everything. And then one of the tricks of the trade, you want to make sure, kind of go like this, make the peanuts settle down a little bit, because they will settle, and then it'll actually lead to not enough space in there and it could get damaged. Settle it down a little bit, add some more peanuts as necessary, close up the box, put 1 to 3 strips across the top as necessary depending on your weight, and make a little tape across the corners, make the dog ears, make it nice and tight. And other than that, your box should be all ready. When you shake it, you should hear absolutely nothing, no movement or anything. You want to make sure the peanuts are nice and tight and the product's not going anywhere. So I've taught you guys pretty much everything I know, some of the tools, some of the processes, some of the tricks of the trade, and hopefully this will help you guys to pack up anything you need to and ship it across the country with no worries at all.
Awesome. Yay! Yay!
So how many ounces was